On April 4th, 2012, President Obama proclaimed April as National Donate Life Month and is calling upon health care professionals, volunteers, educators, government agencies, faith-based and community groups, and private organizations to join forces to boost the number of organ and tissue donors throughout the nation. Organ transplantation has improved the lives of thousands of people with life-threatening diseases, yet the critical shortage of donors has become a public health crisis. Today, more than 110,000 Americans await an organ transplant. Each day, 79 people receive an organ transplant. However, 18 people die each day waiting for a transplant. And every 10 minutes, a person is added to the organ transplant waiting list. The statistics are overwhelming and difficult to understand. Just remember that one statistic represents a human life, who may be a father, a mother, a sister, a brother, or someone who is important to someone else. This is Group 1, titled Everyone Should Be an Organ Donor. I, Najera, will be speaking on the need for organ donors. Next, my fellow student, Carl Deering, will be presenting point 2 of his speech, learning why you need to be an organ donor and the benefits your gift will bring. Then Lacey Brown will speak on the third point, how you can enroll in a donor registry and become an organ donor. Finally, our fourth speaker is Clifton Cherry. He will summarize all 3 points of Group 1 speech titled Everyone Should Be an Organ Donor. I will begin by telling you about the need for organ donation. President Obama's proclamation is asking for our help and quotes, all of us can play a part in ending this unacceptable loss of life. I encourage every American to consider becoming an organ and tissue donor, to consult their family, friends, physician, or faith leader about their decision. And if they choose to be a donor, to register on the state organ donor registry. The donor shortage is the #1 problem in organ transplants today. The number of donors has not increased to match the medical demand for organ, tissue, and bone marrow. My godmother was a person on the kidney transplant waiting list for 6 years. She suffered tremendously by having her blood cleaned by dialysis 3 times a week for 6 years. This waiting period taxed her family emotionally and financially due to the organ shortage. She received her kidney 2 years ago and has been functioning as a full-time nurse at an adult daycare center. Now thanks to the success of the kidney transplant and donor who provided her with 1 kidney, the family is happy. Not only did the donor help save her life, but the donor organ saved 8 more lives as well. As stated earlier, every day 18 people die on the waiting list due to the organ shortage. Remember, each statistic mentioned is someone who is important to someone else. The statistic may hit home, and it may be someone you know and love dearly. Organ donation is very important. The failure to consider becoming an organ donor and refusal by relatives to donate a deceased person's organs and tissue remain the 2 principal causes of the current shortage and long waiting lists. In the last 20 years, the gap between the number of patients waiting for a transplant and number receiving a transplant has continued to widen. For example, in 1988, there were 5,901 donors, 12,618 transplants, and 15,029 on the waiting list. Then, in 2009, the gap got wider. There was 14,630 donors, 28,463 transplants, and 105,567 people on the organ transplant waiting list. Be part of the national campaign to be a Do Nation and become an organ donor to save lives and to give people more time to be with their families and to enjoy life. On August 1st, National Minority Donor Awareness Week begins. This is an annual week